much for meeting with me. I know we worked together. I covered the release of Home over on EARMILK. Love the track, love the video. I'm just so excited to learn some more about you. So I'm going to start really basic and straightforward, but when did you start pursuing music and realizing that you had a talent?
Started pursuing music at a very young age. I always loved music, so I knew I wanted to do something in the music business, but I didn't know what it was. I started out in bands, like just regular bands. You know, as kids grow up, I feel like every kid starts in a band at some point or like knows somebody in a band or something. But so I did that, and it was fun, and I loved it, and never really, I guess, let go of it. It was more of a dream. I was like, I just want to do this like for the rest of my life, forever. So I
Yeah.
guess when I just tried to figure out the best way to do that, and I'm making it sound a lot easier than it was. But yeah, it was it was definitely rough and hard. But you know, we're here. Life is great. I'm great. God's great. You know, we're winning.
You have a very unique sound. Where do you think that comes from? What inspires your sound?
Well, a lot of it. I'm from Mississippi, so a lot of it's probably Southern dialect that I can't seem to shake for some reason. Uh, and then some of it's, you know, I guess, like you said, probably my influences. You know, I loved Elvis. You know, I still do. You know, I love Adele. I love Louis Capaldi. I love all the greats that come before me. So for me, it's just kind of a hybrid of all of them. I guess I just try to figure out who you know, captures me in the soul the most, and I kind of try to like not so much mimic, but you know, take inspiration from, and you know, kind of go down the same path they went down. Hopefully.
So you're from Mississippi. Where do you call home right now? Or is that always your home?
Atlanta, Georgia is home for me, and
Okay.
Los. I go back and forth between here and LA, so they're both like technically home. But you know, Jackson. I mean, it's on my hand. You know,
Yeah.
Mississippi, not going anywhere. Is where I was born and raised, and I'm proud of it. It's just Atlanta. I came here when I was 19, and I was homeless and trying to make music and figure it out. And I've been here, and I'm 28 now, so you know, I've been here for almost 9 years. So you know, it's kind of like I was born and raised in Mississippi, but then like another chapter of my life was raised in Atlanta.
Wow, being homeless and still trying to pursue music must have been rough. Was there ever a point where you thought about giving up, or was this just all or nothing for you?
All or nothing, but I mean, you have those moments, but you gotta like ignore them. You gotta keep going. You can't let them exist because I mean, if you let them flourish in your brain, then that's all they're going to do. So, you know, your biggest enemy, especially for me, a lot of times is myself. So, I really had to like just you know dive in on like self help and you know also self awareness, just kind of knowing like where I'm at, what's going on, where I want to be, how I'm going to get there, and what you know objects and obstacles are going to be in my way, and whatever stuff I'm going to have to go through, I'm just going to have to go through it. There was a point that clicks where you're just like, all right, I'm here now. Like I'm just going to have to go through it. Kind of like an acceptance, I guess.
Definitely. So you're signed to Def Jam. You're a Def Jam artist, but I can't help but notice you definitely have a different sound than I think what everyone associates with Def Jam.
I'm a,
How do you feel about that? How is being signed to Def Jam?
I love it because I'm a unicorn of.
Yeah, definitely you are.
It's fun. It's fun because you know I like to bring something different to the table. I'm glad I'm not coming in and they have 10 other artists that sound like me. That would be a you know absolute mayhem and terrible. But that was one of the reasons I you know chose to pick Def Jam as home because it was kind of like you know they were adamantly wanting me at the label, and DJ, my manager, and all them who took me over there. He's also my A&R at the label. It was kind of you know a 3 point swish for me. It was just it made sense because they needed it. They're you know Def Jam's rebuilding constantly,
Yeah.
so you know it's in a good place right now. I'm just kind of glad to be a part of it and see the process unfold as it you know as it's happening. So
That's amazing. I have to call out Snoop. I know you're featured on his new upcoming album. I actually attended his listening party here in LA, and he spoke very highly of you and being featured on the album. You know, he also gave you a shout out on the Breakfast Club. How is it working with Snoop? That's crazy.
dream come true. You know he's from Mississippi and has family from Mississippi. So me and him kind of hit that off the bat when we first started, talking and hanging out. And he's just a forward thinker, and he's got a very very, very, very like just I don't know how to explain it. Just I guess like a powerful energy aura about him. Like when you speak to him, and even if he wasn't Snoop Dogg, I feel like he'd still be that same way. Just who he is as a person. He just has a powerful way of speaking to where damn near anybody can understand it and get what he's trying to say. So it's been amazing. I mean, it's a dream. It's crazy. You get to work with your idols, but it's even better for your idols to want to work with you. It's incredible. I love all this gives me. It's unreal. It's kind of it's like what's the word for like when something's kind of died out. It's like artists sometimes forget to do that nowadays with newer artists. They so a lot of artists, they just kind of get into their ways and they get real big and they get famous and they kind of they don't really think about anything else, and that's not their fault. That's just the nature of the business. But Snoop has done a good job of coming around, and just kind of playing uncle to everybody. So anybody that he comes in contact with, I mean, he just kind of has that presence about him. So it's been great.
That's so refreshing to hear. I mean, I definitely get that vibe from Snoop. So it is refreshing to hear that he actually is that way in real life. What would you say is your favorite part of your creative process when you're going into the studio, whether it be just a single or a full project? What is your creative mindset?
I never go into the studio to make a single. I never go in to make a hit record.
Yeah.
Go in with energy and like, whatever I'm feeling that day or whatever I have that I want to get off my chest. It's kind of like I write my own stuff and I take pride in that. So for me, a lot of it is super, in-house as to what I create. So a lot of what you hear like truly is the full embodiment of me. So I guess my favorite part would probably be coming up with the music, because then I come up with the melodies and then lyrics later. And I love coming up with the music because I start to hear, it's like light bulbs start going off in my brain. And I'm like, oh, right there. I like this there. And I like this there. I don't know. That's probably my favorite part because I can start to hear the record. And I tell people this all the time. Like, I don't know. I say it a lot. And I don't know why I say it because people obviously do. But I always tell my friends when I'm like playing them like an idea, they're like, oh, this is cool. I'm like, you don't get it. And I get mad. I get frustrated. They don't get it and then at the very end, but it's happened several times at the very end when the song's done, they're like, wow, I did not think it was going to turn into that. I said, I know. Like, I just like, that's why I hate playing like ideas for people because they just don't understand where I'm trying to go, but I hear it from inception. So that's definitely my favorite part for sure.
That's really cool to hear. I think that's an interesting take on it. I think one really unique thing about your sound is just that you get very deep and you aren't afraid to show your emotions. I feel like your tracks are very emotional and introspective. Where does that come from? Is that kind of what you strive for, or does that just come naturally?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a very, vulnerable person. I'm like an open book. But me personally also, I'm a Pisces. So I'm super emotional. If I don't let it out, I'm going to combust. So like, I gotta like talk about it, and I don't want to just like beat my friends to death talking about it. So I just rather put into a song and beat the whole world to death about it. Hopefully somebody feels the same way, and I'm not like, okay, I'm not crazy. That was messed up. That was a sad situation. Maybe I'm more, I can relate to more people. But yeah, no, very emotional person. Just in that, in general, just came out like that. I guess, but I blame my mom.
Was she emotional and
Yeah,
wore
still
her
is.
heart on her sleeve?
She's my favorite woman in the world, but she's a psycho, and I love her.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your EP, Burning Fire, for a little bit. Is there a standout track on that project that you think is your favorite track?
Obviously, Burning Fire.
Okay, namesake. That was easy.
That song meant a lot to me. It's about my family. For those that here that don't know what the song was about, I originally wrote it about my aunt and uncle and their love of 65 years, and they were married for that long, and I'd never seen nothing like that. And my aunt passed away from cancer, so I was really sad. So I made a song from my uncle's point of view, who had just lost his wife, for 65 years or whatever of marriage, and that's what it originally started out as, and it was like a super deep like love story. But as I've kind of like, it's been out for a while now, and I've getting a lot of reaction, a lot of feedback, and I'm performing it and talking to people. It kind of just takes on its own meaning now. It's like, however it applies to you. I mean, I've had people tell me that it helped them through a breakup. I've had people tell me that, it's done so many things. And it's like, it's just powerful how music can just, it's like water. It just finds its way through, so kind of incredible. But yeah, Burning Fire is definitely hands down my favorite, no question.
That is, I would say, probably my favorite as well. Um, okay, so we talked about, your emotions. You're not afraid to be vulnerable. Would you consider yourself a hopeless romantic at all?
100%. 100%. I watch Hallmark Christmas movies and every Netflix movie about love, and it's dangerous because you want to text your ex and stuff, so you have to relax. It's like, yeah, I'm definitely like that. I definitely, obviously want to get married and have kids one day soon. So, I'm not soon, but soon, so it's like, of course, yeah. I feel like everyone kind of strives for that. I feel like you're supposed to kind of have, someone in your life, to balance you out, especially me, because I'm crazy. So
That is another refreshing thing to hear. I feel like a lot of, typically male artists in the industry, don't want to admit that or be vulnerable or want somebody, for the long term. So I think that definitely makes you unique as well. What are you listening to right now? Like, what is on your playlist? That's what I'm interested in.
all over the place. Lil Baby is obviously incredible. The whole 4PF crew and all those guys, and Young Thug, a lot of rap. So a lot of rap stuff going on. But as far as like what I kind of make, like, Adele, I'm so excited for next Friday.
Oh,
Her new
yes.
and Ed Sheeran's new album, I'm really kind of finally like diving into it all the way because I'm obviously a massive fan. And that's pretty much it. I've been kind of really getting into the reggaeton lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found out about it like 6 months ago. Like I didn't find out, I knew what it was, but I didn't know like the proper name. And so like one of my friends was playing it for me. I was like, man, this shit is jamming. So like I just started figuring out what it was, diving deep, deep, deep into it. And it's like that culture is just incredible. And so I'm kind of like trying to like just, I don't know, that's probably the most genre I'm listening to right now.
Wow, that's interesting. I think just like your sound, your listening and your taste is kind of pieces of everything here and there, which brings me to my next question. Do you consider yourself a specific genre?
No, I'm a hybrid.
I like that.
I'm a hybrid. I'm all over the place. You never know what you're going to get, but I can promise you one thing, it's going to be good music.
I love that.
I don't know what style or what genre it is. And I don't even like to kind of put names like that on it anymore. Music is so, relative now. It's so like just kind of subjective, like whatever you think it is and however you feel about it. It's people making all different kinds of songs that sound like rap songs and pop songs that sound like, R&B songs. It's all over the place. So it's like, I don't know. I just like making good music. So I guess, yeah, I'm a hybrid. I take
I love that. I guess speaking of that and on that point and that perspective, what would you consider, just from your perspective, has been the biggest struggle coming into the industry, or even anything you just see or hear? What do you think is the biggest challenge being in the industry?
just time for
Yeah.
me. Like patience is such an important thing. And it's also just kind of understanding that everything happens when it's supposed to happen. And that can be extremely frustrating as an artist. And every artist that watches this or talks about or sees this interview is going to know exactly what I'm talking about. And pretty much anybody in general life, just waiting and just kind of knowing like, oh, it's coming. And it's kind of just hurry up and wait business. So it's like, hurry up, I need this now. And then we got to wait 6 months to put it out. It's an interesting it's interesting business, but I love it. I wouldn't leave it, this business for anything. But yeah, patience is probably the one thing that that drives me crazy.
Do you receive a lot of hate with being kind of this hybrid and unicorn, as you call it? Do you see any hate? Not that you're looking for it or seeking it out, but do you get hate of people wanting you to be put in this box? Do
Yeah,
you get any comments or, frustrated people?
not hate so much as I get people trying to put it into something, and I'm not like mad at. Like I said, music is subjective. It's whatever people want to think it is. If somebody thinks "Burning Fire" is a R&B church song, then that's what it is to them. Who am I to tell them something different? That's how they hear it. That's how their ears. That's how their brain works. So it's like it is what it is. You know, when you start, I feel like when you start kind of looking at it and looking for a negative, you're going to find it. And I'm not trying to do that. So I just try to keep it all positive, and however you feel about it, you feel about it. If somebody wrote under my comments, I fucking hate this song. I've seen people say stuff like that, and I'll just write back, I love you, thank you for listening. Like, because I don't care. It's like, whatever. Like, if you start letting that stuff bother you, like I said, it's kind of like letting negative thoughts flourish in your brain. They just live there. You can't do that. You got to get out of there.
That's a great perspective. That's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and ask my last question, or at least what I think is my last question, because I don't want to keep you too long. But what's next? What's on the horizon? Like, what's your next big goal?
Well, like you said, I'm stupid excited about the Snoop Dogg album coming out.
Yes.
I say that, Abby? Am I allowed to say that?
That what?
That his album comes out next Friday?
Yeah, that's public. We're good.
Okay, and I got a song on there with Wiz Khalifa that Snoop put together, and I guess my first big feature that's out. So I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about just being on a Snoop Dogg album in general. It's just kind of crazy. That's the immediate that I'm really excited about. And my album, you know, top of the year tour. I'm just ready to go out and meet people and see people and just perform and just, you know, keep growing and maturing and, you know, just making more music. But I'm just mainly excited about that next week, and then the album coming out. The album is so good. I've worked on it for so long. I'm so proud of it. So, you know, I'm just excited for the world to hear it.
That's amazing. You should be proud of it. I lied. I have to ask, what's it like working with Wiz Khalifa?
It's cool. Wiz is great. You know, he's like Snoop. He's just chill. You know, he's just chilling, man. He's got a good energy about him, good vibe, and he's, you know, he just has good energy. Anybody that, like I said, I don't really like when I get around people. Especially the first time meeting them. I don't really try to push too much. I kind of just let things flow and see how they are as a person, and kind of just catch a vibe. And he's definitely just a relaxed, cool guy that just, you know, just I don't know how to explain it. It's just a great dude. Absolute pleasure to work with him.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Thank you so much again for taking the time to talk with me. This was great and so insightful. It's refreshing to hear your perspective on things, and I'm just excited to hear more new music for you. I'm excited to hear, you know, your feature on Snoop's album. So this was great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. This was fun. A lot of I don't like doing, but this one was good.
Awesome.